everyone. Today we will be talking about parts of the story. When we listen to a story, we have to always think about these 5 things, okay? They're very important. Last week we talked about one. It was characters. Characters are the people or animals in the story. It's who the story is about, okay? Today we will talk about settings. The setting of a story is where it happened, okay? The place where it happened. Then we need to think about the beginning, what happened in the middle of the story, and what happens at the end of the story. So those are 5 things that you have to think about when you're listening to a story, and even if whenever you're reading, when you start reading, those are things you have to think about, okay? Let's move on. Let's see. Okay, so last week we talked about characters. They're the people, animals in the story. They are the ones who are talking, who are feeling, who are doing things in the story. Okay? And we have to think about who when we talk about characters. Who is in the story? Who is the story about? And today you will learn about the setting of a story. Okay, and this is a little poem for setting. Okay, listen. Outside, inside, here and there, the setting of a story tells when and where. Daytime, nighttime, city or town, the setting is where it all goes down. The setting is an important part of a story. What is a setting? The setting might be a hot, sunny day at the beach, a house, mountains. It might be a forest in the nighttime. Okay, the setting is the time and the place of the story. Okay, always remember it's not a person, it's not an animal, it's the time and place of the story. The place might be a school, a house, a park, a jungle. The time might be daytime, nighttime. It might be summertime. Sometimes you can identify or you know the setting of the story just by looking at the illustrations, looking at the pictures. Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to show you the cover of a book, and then we are going to see the setting for that book. Okay. Okay, so for this story, The Three Little Pigs, we know that the characters of this book, of this story, are the 3 little pigs and the wolf. Those are the characters, okay? The setting, I have it here. It is, I see a forest, trees, it's outside, and I see a house. That is the setting for the story, The 3 Little Pigs. And if you can see in this story, the cover, I can see the trees in the background. It looks like daytime. I see the grass. So I know that the setting is outside. Okay? Let's look at another one. The Very Hungry Caterpillar. That is the character. We know the caterpillar is the character. The setting of this story is a tree. It's outside. For sure, it is not nighttime. It is daytime. So that is the setting for the story, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. And the caterpillar, remember, is the character. Mr. Sugar came to town. Now, that's my favorite story. In this story, we know the characters are Mr. Sugar, Grandma Lupe, The kids, Alfredo and Alicia, those are the characters of the story. And the setting, um, one of the settings for this story is the kitchen. Remember, Grandma Lupe was giving the kids tamales. They were eating in the kitchen. So that is the setting. That was a place, the place of the story. And also, they were outside. So a story can have more than one setting. The setting can change in the story. I chose the kitchen because I remember the tamales Grandma Lupe gave the kids. The story, The Little Red Hen. Now, I see the characters and I see the setting. The setting is daytime, it's a farm outside. I see trees. So it's a farm. The setting for this story is the farm. Okay. Now let's see. I am going to show you two pictures and I want you to think about it and choose the setting. Okay, look at picture number one. Let's see, I see a house. It looks like it's made of straw, a straw house. And I see grass, so I know it's outside. Picture number two, I see three little pigs. So now, which one do you think is the setting? Which one looks like a setting? Picture number one or picture number two? Picture number one is the setting because picture number two is those are the characters. Remember, people, animals are characters. And picture number one looks like a place. So picture number one is the setting. Let's see some more. Okay, so look at picture one, picture two. The first one I see the caterpillar. The second picture, there we go. The second picture I see trees. I see fruit. So I know that's outside. Which one is the setting? The caterpillar is the character. Picture number two is the setting. That is the place of the story. Now look at these two pictures. And I'll give you some time to look at the pictures. I see a kitchen. I see a table. I see the sink. I see the kitchen. That is a place. And picture number two, it's a happy little girl. So I know that the setting is the kitchen because it's a place. Okay, it's where the story can happen. Okay, now look at these two pictures. Let's see which one is the setting. The first one, that looks like Grandma Lupe. Grandma Lupe, and I see the two kids on the bottom. And then picture two has a house, trees, it's daytime. It looks like a beautiful sunny day. Which one is the setting of these two pictures? Picture number two, that's the setting. Okay, because the first one, that's a person, that's a character. It's Grandma Lupe. We talked about Grandma Lupe and the kids and Mr. Sugar being the characters. Okay, this one, number one or two, which one is the setting? First picture, I see desk, I see a board, a clock. It looks like a classroom. In picture number two, I see Lily. I see a little mouse named Lily. So I know the setting is picture number one. It's a place. That's the setting. Okay, and for these two pictures, I'll give you some time to think. Which one is the setting? Picture number 1 or picture number 2? Picture number 1 looks like Little Red Riding Hood. She's a person. Picture number 2 looks like a forest. Remember, setting is a place. So for this one, picture number 2, that is the setting. Picture number 1, the Little Red Riding Hood, is a character of a story. We learned 2 parts of a story. Last week we talked about characters, the persons or animals in the story. Today we talked about the setting, where the story happened, when did it happen. Okay, now for your work this week, let me move my face over. We are going to be reading the same book we read last week, well, that Ms. Vasquez read for you guys, Christina and the Frog. And last week, your job was to draw the characters of the story. This week, I want you guys to think about the setting of the story. And if there's more than one, if you look through the book and you see more than one, you can just choose one setting, one place in the story, or your favorite. Maybe you can choose your favorite part of the story and draw the setting, okay? Make sure the setting, the place of the story. You can include the characters, but make sure that you draw the setting.